For me, I bring up HIV in the context of what would my faith leader do? And my faith leader is Jesus Christ. So I ask people, what would Jesus Christ do around HIV and AIDS? That's always a good way to start a conversation in my communities.
I live with HIV not today with the strength of my faith. My faith carried me through it all. You know, so it's not a hard thing. It's something that I've accepted a long time ago. You know, it became a part of my life. And I realized that I couldn't change it. You know what I'm saying? It was there. Today, I live with it with nothing. I think it's the best thing that ever happened to me. From the things I've learned, the places I've been, the people I've met. You know, so it's been great. It's okay today.
For my community, we're religiously orientated. So these preachers, yes, it's feasible. It's safe to practice to talk about abstinence, but it's not realistic in the society. They need to go, because that's where everything goes to our churches. The churches need to come out, start teaching this illness, and stop shaming people, because the shaming is detrimental to us. Embrace, educate, and bring in people like myself, whom are willing to talk, who are willing to explain, and who are willing to show people how not to catch this. I mean, this is a very simple thing that you don't have to have. You don't have to have this. You just got to change your behavior. That's all.
For the African American community, I would recommend that they wake up. I would hope that our religious leaders would set aside the moral aspect of HIV and just deal with the human aspect. Let God deal with the judging and let them deal with the people, God's people, if that's the way that you want to look at it. I think that we need to start taking care of ourselves. We fight about a lot of things in terms of housing and in terms of health care. We march for almost anything, or at least we used to. And I think that they need to demand now, but they need to start at home. They can't ask for anything or demand anything if they're not willing to deal with it themselves. So they need to really start putting aside their own personal views about people who are HIV positive and deal with the issues of them being positive and have the really hard discussions that they need to have so that this illness can cease to exist.
And it's very hard to, bring it up. And it really depends on both my courage and their courage. My courage to speak of it and their courage to listen. But a lot of times I find many different ways. Sometimes I'm bold with it, and sometimes I just creep it into the conversation just randomly. But either way, if I feel in my heart that it has to be done, it's going to be in that conversation. I don't know how, but it's going to be there.
I think the one main message that I would have for religious leaders, those involved in any faith tradition, is that they always remember what the mandate of Christ was toward humanity in itself, is that we be non-judgmental, that we do not condemn, that we learn how to love individuals exactly or where they are without any other personal expectations.
My own church won't let me do that. And I have to be real and honest. I've tried to get into my own church, and I'm not going to say the name, but I've tried, and I've gotten nothing but runaround. It even, made me want to, well, for matter of fact, I have stopped going to church for a while because I felt like they can talk about everything else, but they can't. And it's only because they figure it's all, they don't want to talk about the sexual part. But what they don't understand is their kids are having sex. I don't care if they are PKs, pastors' kids, or people that go to church every day. That doesn't stop those kids from having sex. Because when they leave church, they go to wherever. They may go to the movie and do it in the back of a movie. I mean, at a park. You can't be with your kids 24/7, and you can't put anything past a child. A young person, you can't put anything past them. But you can give them the tools to be able to deal with whatever it is they're doing. And if they don't allow us to give them the tools, or allow anybody to give them the tools, then what? We have a whole community in despair from HIV and AIDS and other STDs.
How can the Black church deal with this issue better? Stop making it a deed or a behavior issue, and because the church community always look at sin. They make homosexuality the worst sin, the greatest sin of all sins. But the Bible say that all sins are equal. A sin is a sin. Instead of looking at the sin and saying that it's wrong, get past that part of it and start looking at the human aspects. What would Jesus do? Where's the compassion piece? Where's the love piece? Here we have one of the greatest human pandemics in the world, and if Jesus was here today, he would be out doing exactly what he's always been doing, healing the sick and talking to the prostitute and healing the lepers. Those were the things that he would be doing. He would be focused on love. He would be focused on people, and the human aspect of people, and spreading love. Right now, I continue to see an issue about making it how you say it, an issue of a sin versus an issue of love. So I would go at it compassion versus looking at behaviors.
In addition to that, I also lost the church that I pastored because of my substance abuse. And as I participated in that recovery process, eventually my life went full circle. And as a result of going full circle, I not only got into recovery, or what we call in the church, I got my deliverance from substance abuse. But at the same time, as I began to embrace my life and to be truthful, eventually the church that dismissed me also called me back as their pastor.
And I've had some of the most awesome relationships with people. They know me for me. And I truly know that those relationships are true because they accept me right where I'm at. And it's just a few. But what has opened the door for me too is where I am spiritually in my relationship with the Lord. That's me personally, because this conference, it talked about access. And I do have, for me, the access of life, because I know who I am in a relationship with who I choose. And that's Jesus Christ. And that's me personally. So I feel like overall, HIV has opened the doors to my life. I've been in so many awesome places because of HIV. And I don't know if I would have had the energy or the desire to do what I do if I wouldn't have had something come into my life. So why not HIV?
There's really not much to it because, well, my T-cell and my viral load has always been real good, so I haven't had to take medication. And most of the time, I forget I have it. Just like any normal kid.